My research is in biomedical engineering, so that means it's at the intersection of engineering and medicine. My research focuses on aging, which is a process that affects all of us.
So my research is focused on developing solar cell that has the potential to replace the dependence of fossil fuel.
So my research is in law, and it's focused in international human rights law, and specifically on the international human right to health.
I study Atlantic Canadian history, and specifically I study the writings and diaries of maritime seafaring women.
My research uses literary analysis and cultural history to investigate Black Canadian writing in the first half of the 20th century.
I'm doing a thesis project on implementing Staphylococcus aureus screening and decolonization in our cardiac surgery patients here in Halifax.
As we age, there are some effects such as neurodegeneration and effects on our cognitive abilities such as memory and fluid intelligence. The aim of my research is to understand the processes within the brain activity that might contribute to these declines with age.
This kind of solar cells are very unique. They have surpassed the efficiency and the performance of silicon solar cell that we all know, and they have the potential to be much cheaper, therefore more affordable. And my work is focused on making them more reliable and more environmentally friendly.
And so it's generally focused on conceptualizing how the international human right to health can be understood in terms of what it really means for individuals in Canada. It focuses domestically on the right to health for Canadians, and then on the external side of things, it's looking at what obligations Canada has and Canadian policymakers have when they're making decisions that can affect the right to health abroad, specifically in the context of recruiting health professionals from abroad to work in Canada.
Often in this age of exploration in the Victorian period, women are excluded as agents of this really critical moment in globalization and global history. But I try to reintroduce the voices of these rural women and help define how they shaped the modern world we live in today. So I hope that my work will not only share women's stories, but women and girls can look to these histories and find themselves in the past.
That period remains the least studied of all periods for Black writing in Canada, and it's also widely considered a low point of race relations here, a time when Black communities faced worsening discrimination and deteriorating social and economic conditions. But when we look to the archives, we find that the same period witnessed the emergence of new and innovative literary forms, from poetry collections and political tracts in the 1910s to collections of Black Nova Scotian folklore in the 1930s. These writers responded to those conditions, and in so doing they imparted new meanings to the relationship between literature and social life.
Staphylococcus aureus is a bacteria that can be commonly found in anyone's nose or on their skin. We know that from the research that approximately 40% of surgical site infections in cardiac surgery are caused by this type of bacteria. So what we're doing with our study is we're testing patients before surgery to see if they actually have that bug that normally sits in their nose. And if they're positive for it, then we're treating them with a special antibiotic ointment to get rid of that before the surgery. The impact that we hope to achieve is to help continue to decrease those surgical site infections that our cardiac surgery patients can experience.
Receiving a Killam Scholarship is an honor. I feel very grateful and fortunate to have been selected as one of the recipients of this award.
It was really wonderful to find out that I had received it, and it evoked a sense of profound gratitude for it. Of course, financially, it means a lot, but it also provided this sort of boost to me that the research that I'm doing is on a topic that other people find interesting and could potentially be important.
My goal is to continue on this path, to hopefully after graduation to continue doing research on solar cells.
With my experience from my thesis, I hope to take this implementation science approach into my future academic career and help translate our research into clinical practice in healthcare.
To receive a Killam Scholarship felt like someone saying, you do belong here, you do deserve to be here. It was a tremendous honor to receive a Killam Scholarship.